Hello everyone, my name is Sarthak Chawli of 2K19 batch, and here I am to present you some easy ways to know how painkillers work and how our brain reacts to them. Okay, so here we go. And topic is brain opiate system. Okay, right. Being doctors, we regularly come across many patients who suffer from pain and they ask us to treat, right? So question is how we can treat their pain. So answer is by giving painkillers. So you must be wondering that how these painkillers work, right? So our topic is brain opiates system. Brain opiate system, right? See, in this we gonna talk about painkiller system, right? But see, let me tell you, painkiller they just suppress the pain sensation, so that patient may feel better to sleep or better to work, whatever he or she might be thinking of. So question is, how does this happen? Naturally, if we give them morphine, it may suppress the pain sensation, and pain sensation going up to the cortex, thereby we make patient feel relaxed, right? So let's see how this happen. Here I try to draw side view of brainstem, right? Side view of brainstem. This is the brain, midbrain, pons, medulla, and let me correct it, midbrain, pons, medulla, and spinal cord, right? Okay, it's just a side view, and just this is just for the understanding purpose and is not an anatomical diagram at all. See, we all know that. Okay, before that, let me draw a diagram of spinal cord. Here I am just drawing the gray matter of spinal cord. Here I am just drawing the gray matter of spinal cord. This is a gray matter of spinal cord, right? I'm not drawing the white matter of spinal cord. I'm just drawing the gray matter of spinal cord, right? So we all know that pain sensation through afferent fibers are are coming to the spinal cord, from where the sensation goes directly to up to the cortex, right? This way. Okay, from anterolateral ascending tracks and so on, so right. Okay, where it reaches, actually it goes to the cortex, where we consciously summarize the stimulus. Okay, it reaches directly up to the cortex. Okay, it reaches directly up to the cortex. If anyhow we are able to stop this part, if anyhow we are able to stop this part, we definitely we gonna stop this sensation, and thereby patient we can make patient feel good, right? So how this can be done? I mean, how this stimulus can be suppressed, right? Okay, now let's come back to our previous diagram. And here, okay, so here I am drawing two main structures which are responsible for this pain killing system, right? Or brain opiate system, right? Very first is the nucleus of Raphe. That is very important, because see, it is mainly present in the upper part of pons, and lower part of pons, and upper part of medulla, that is pontomedullary, at the pontomedullary junction, right? Here one more structure, we know that there is an cerebral aqueduct, right? So surrounding that part we have one structure, that is the periaqueductal area. See, this one is the periaqueductal area, right? And this one is nucleus of Raphi, right? Okay, see, what happens is, anyhow, if we could manage to, if we could manage to stimulate this part, if you could manage to stimulate this part, definitely we gonna achieve what we want to do. See here, we can stop the pain sensations going directly to the cortex. We can easily stop this sensation, right? So how we can achieve this process? We can give them morphine. I already told you, we can give them morphine. And how morphines are going to work? See, morphines will work, okay, that is the secondary thing. But first we should be knowing that if morphines are reacting to our receptors present in our body, definitely there must be some naturally morphine like structures occurring in our body, okay. That is why morphine is able to act on our body. If morphine is able to act on our body, then definitely we are having some natural morphine like structures. And what are those? Those are, okay, let me correct it, those are, let me write here, those are endorphin. See how this name came. Endorphin, orphan is from morphine, and endo means internally produced, okay, internally produced, right? Okay, second is enkephalin, right? See, enkephalin, mainly we will deal with the met enkephalin and lew enkephalin, okay, that is the secondary part. But okay, so some morphine like structures which are naturally occurring in our body are the endorphin and the enkephalin, okay. So how this part gonna work? I mean, how this morphine like structure will work and suppress the pain sensation, and we feel relaxed, we feel pain relief, okay, right? See, here you see that I'm drawing one line, see, okay, right? This nucleus, from this nucleus I am drawing a fiber, one neuron. And this neuron will, once this nucleus is stimulated, it will be, action potential will be traveled through this neuron, okay. And once it reach up to this part, it will stimulate this neuron, right? And after that it will go down. And before that, how this is stimulated? I mean, there must be some neurotransmitters, right? And here the neurotransmitter, here let me write here the neurotransmitter released is enkephalin, which I already talked about, that this is nothing but this is naturally occurring morphine, right? Okay, so now this nucleus of Raphi, this second part, this nucleus of Raphi, when it gets stimulated by the enkephalin, and the action potential goes through this neuronal fiber, this axonal fibers, and this will go down to the spinal cord. Okay, next page I'm gonna draw one spinal cord section, how it's gonna act, right? Okay, let me draw it here only. See, this red fiber coming, which is coming, okay, this red fiber which is coming here, it will stimulate one neuron, okay. It will stimulate one neuron, right? And what is that neuron? Here is the neuron which on stimulation will produce an effect on the second order neuron of the pain sensation. We know this thing, that, see, I'm drawing here that, okay, this is the second order neuron that we know, right? This is the second order neuron, right? Okay, I'm zooming this part. This is the second order neuron of the pain sensation, touch pain, this pain temperature. Okay, anyway, so if I'm able to stimulate this white neuron, if I am anyhow stable able to wait, I'm drawing it with some other color. Okay, if anyhow I'm able to stimulate this fiber, definitely it will inhibit this second order neuron, and this second order neuron, when it gets inhibited, and this pathway is not gonna work, and if it doesn't work, then definitely what we want to achieve, we will be able to achieve, right? Okay, now, and what actually this fiber, this nucleus of raphe is releasing here, what is r- being released over at this point, it is the serotonin. Let me tell you, serotonin is released, right? When serotonin is released, this will stimulate this fiber, this neuronal fiber, and when this neuronal fiber is stimulated, it will release again. Here I am zooming out, again it will release. See, I am writing one important thing, it will release here one structure. This one structure is nothing but it is, again, what it is, it is enkephalin. It is enkephalin. See, enkephalins are released at two positions. Okay, let me tell you once again. See, enkephalin is released by the fibers coming, green fibers. Here green fibers are also releasing enkephalins. Here the red fibers releasing the serotonin, in turn will stimulate this orange fibers to release enkephalin, and once the enkephalin is released, it will stimulate these pink fibers which are going directly to the cortex to cause the pain, right? See here, see how, this is how the pain killing system works, or we can say the brain opiate system works. So let me tell you, painkiller only suppresses the pain and do not cure, and sometimes pain is very important. Okay, we cannot afford to take painkillers after every inch of pain, right? We are not supposed to take painkillers. But why? Because see, pain is very important to diagnose the cause or location of the damaged tissue. For example, if we okay, I'm let me write it here. See, okay, if we have, for example, if we have certain liver disease, for example, it can be anything. So it not only liver disease, if we have any git tract issue, for example, ulcer pain, for example, ulcer, or is not only ulcer, we can say anything like hyperacidity, anything that will cause pain in our epigastric region, and this pain will only tell the patient that he is suffering from kind of disease or any abnormality he's been there. Okay, so that will only allow him to visit doctor, and doctor will diagnose it further, and definitely he'll gonna be treated. And okay, let me tell you, if he is taking painkiller regularly and is not at all bothered of his pain, definitely maybe his hyperacidity, maybe his git problem may increase and may damage it further, and which may or may not be treatable, right? So that is why pain is very important. Pain should be there, so that damaged tissue, we will be will be kept aware of the pain or the damaged tissue part, so that we can treat that particular part, right? So here I say a big thank you so much. Thank you.